completely diminishes my whole entire like livelihood, being like, podcasting? He asked me what I did and I was like, podcasting. He's like, that's your qualification? That's how you make your money? Sir, how do you make your money? Berating women, being a narcissist on a TV show? That's how you make your money? That's what I should have said. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who this man was on the show. I didn't know who anyone was. I didn't know who Jesse Smollett was. I didn't know what he went through. I would have asked him more questions. I would have been like more involved in that.
Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. So, Kody Brown on Special Forces right now. If you're not watching it, oh my gosh, what are you even doing? It's wild. Kody Brown, of all people, is out here being one of the most physically fit contestants on the show. I know, shocking, right? But honestly, I guess when your daily routine consists of chopping wood, flexing your biceps, and yelling at women, it kind of makes sense that you'd have the stamina to climb mountains and push yourself through a show like Special Forces. His physical ability isn't the issue though. Oh no, that's not where the drama is. The real tension is between Kody and some of the cast members who are, let's just say, less than impressed with him. Recently, Bree, one of the contestants, opened up about her experience with Kody. She's a podcaster, and when Kody asked what she does for a living, she told him. His response. He goes, "Oh, that's your qualification? You're just a podcaster." Like, excuse me? Way to belittle someone's career on national television, Kody. But honestly, that attitude tracks. We already know he doesn't respect what people like us do. Maybe that's why he never goes on podcasts. Though give it time, once he runs out of TV opportunities, watch him start one himself. Anyway, Bree recently relaunched her own podcast and had a few more things to say about Mr. Brown. And let's just say she didn't hold back. She talked about who he really is, how he treated people, and her true opinion of him after getting to know him on the show. Now, most of the cast walked into this without knowing much about him. I mean, unless you're over 30 or deeply invested in chaotic reality TV, Sister Wives might not even be on your radar. So Kody was able to fool some people at first, playing the part of the misunderstood guy just looking for redemption. But not everyone bought it. In an interview, Bree admitted that at first she honestly thought Kody was, well, kind of slow. She said she felt bad for him because he had zero social awareness. No cues, no sense of how to read a room. She literally thought, okay, maybe he's just an older guy who's a little out of it. And then she said something that totally caught people's attention. She compared her initial pity for him to how you feel bad for someone who seems like they might have special needs. But once she learned who he really was and how he's treated women, she realized, no, that wasn't it. He's not slow, he's manipulative. Her words, not mine. This man is insane. And he treats women horribly. And honestly, knowing his history, she's not wrong. Apparently, there's even more drama coming between Brianna and Kody. But it doesn't stop there. Gia Giudice, yes, from Real Housewives of New Jersey, was interviewing one of the male cast members from the show, Robbie Patel. I think he's an actor and he was really trying to stay neutral. You know, take the see the best in everyone route. But here's the thing. Most of these contestants had no idea who Kody Brown even was when they joined the show. All they knew was what he told them, that he used to be a polygamist and that his life has been complicated. And since Kody is a master manipulator, he knows how to spin a story. He can turn anything into a pity narrative where he's always the victim, the poor misunderstood dad, the one who's been alienated from his kids, the guy who just wants to be loved. It's his favorite mask to wear. So yeah, take everything he says on that show with a massive grain of salt. When Robbie was on Gia's podcast, he actually mentioned that Kody's backstory was one of the most interesting on the show. But it's also one of the hardest to figure out because Kody's version of events is, well, let's just say subjective. Apparently, during one of the first challenges, Kody completely lost it. Running up and down the hills, zigzagging past everyone, hauling heavy bags like a man possessed. He was outperforming even some of the professional athletes there. So Robbie said something that totally caught me off guard. His very first thought when he saw Kody in action was that the guy had to be on drugs. He literally said, I remember watching Kody racing up and down that hill and thinking, there's no way this is normal. I'm in great shape, I'm doing my best, and this guy's zipping past me like he's in a cartoon. Something's off. He must be on something, like did this man just do meth before the challenge? And honestly, that visual of Kody flying by professional athletes is kind of hilarious, but also totally bizarre. Robbie even mentioned that throughout the entire competition, Kody kept that same energy. He described him as having the personality of an overly eager 12-year-old boy, like a kid who's just thrilled to be there, blurting out every single thought in his head, constantly giving everyone around him unsolicited advice about what they should be doing next. And the funny part? Robbie said he didn't think Kody meant to be annoying. It's just how he is. He really believes he's being helpful. Now here's the thing. This isn't the first time people have questioned whether Kody's on something. Fans have been speculating about it for years. There are entire Reddit threads dedicated to debating what kind of substance they think fuels his endless energy. Some think he's taking testosterone or growth hormones. Others joke that he might be using stimulants or even snow, the powdery kind, because honestly, who else has that much nonstop energy at his age? But let's be real. His behavior could just as easily come down to pure narcissism. When you look at his patterns, it makes sense. Narcissists can get this wild, manic energy when they're in environments that feed their ego, like being on TV, competing, or getting attention. It's like their version of an adrenaline rush. They soak up validation like oxygen and feed off the people around them. They're literal energy vampires. So Kody's constant high energy might not be about substances at all. It could just be him running on narcissistic supply. He thrives when he's being noticed, when people are reacting to him, when he feels like the center of attention. And Robbie describing him as a 12-year-old boy who just says whatever he's thinking. That fits perfectly. Kody doesn't filter his thoughts, because he doesn't care how his words affect anyone else. That lack of self-awareness, classic Kody. That total disregard for others' feelings, textbook narcissism. For years he's gotten by on being manipulative, impulsive, and cruel, because everything in his world revolves around him. So when Robbie talks about Kody being childlike, what he's really describing is a man who's emotionally stunted. Someone who never learned how to think about anyone other than himself. And what's even more telling, Robbie added that he didn't actually have to sleep near Kody, so his experience might have been more positive than others. The people who were physically closer to Kody, the ones who had to deal with him around the clock, apparently had a much harder time. Take Brianna, for example. She said Kody was downright dismissive toward women. During team challenges, he never stopped to think about how his actions affected his teammates. All he cared about was being the best, outshining everyone, proving his superiority, and showing off how strong or fast he was. He might have been performing well physically, but emotionally, socially, zero awareness. He wasn't a team player, he was just out for himself. So yeah, Kody is the definition of self-centered. Everything he does, everything he says, it's all about him. And you can see it even more when you listen to what other cast members are saying. Jussie Smollett, who also joined Gia's podcast recently, shared his experience meeting Kody face-to-face. He said when Kody first introduced himself, he asked, "What's your last name?" And when Jussie said Smollett, Kody went, "Oh yeah, Jussie Smollett," in that smug little tone, like he couldn't resist making it awkward. Jussie later admitted that something about Kody just didn't sit right with him. He didn't realize what Kody had actually said about him until he watched the episode. And then he heard Kody quietly laugh under his breath and say, second chances. And that right there is classic Kody Brown behavior. That narcissistic smirk. That belief that he's somehow morally superior to everyone else around him. Like really, Kody? You're talking about second chances? Sure, Kody didn't go to prison for staging a fake hate crime like Jussie did. But let's not pretend Kody's some innocent saint here. He spent most of his adult life dodging accountability, breaking laws on national television, and hiding behind his polygamist cult lifestyle. He's done plenty of shady, unethical stuff. He's just managed to spin it in his favor every single time. And that's what's so dangerous about people like him. Most of the new people on Special Forces didn't know who Kody Brown was. They didn't have the full story. The years of manipulation, the emotional destruction, the abuse. So when he came in telling his version of events, they believed him. Why wouldn't they? He's charming. He's confident. He knows exactly how to sell his story. But that's exactly what makes someone like Kody so harmful. He's not just lying, he's rewriting reality. Now a whole new audience who never watched Sister Wives is meeting him for the first time and thinking, oh wow, maybe he's trying to change, maybe he's finally turning his life around. But those of us who've been here for years, we know better. We've seen the trail of damage he's left behind. Kody has spent decades emotionally, financially, and psychologically destroying the people closest to him. His wives, his kids, all of them have experienced his wrath. The gaslighting, the verbal abuse, the manipulation. It's endless. So when people on Special Forces talk about him being like a phoenix rising from the ashes, trying to rebuild himself, it's hard not to roll your eyes. Because narcissists like Kody love a good reinvention arc. It's what they do best. When they've burned one world to the ground, they just move on to another. They shed their old skin, rebrand themselves, and pretend to be a totally different person. It's not growth, it's performance. And honestly, it borders on sociopathic. He acts like he can just erase his past and start over, like none of the harm he caused even matters. Gia, bless her heart, even said, "I think he just misses his kids and wants to be a dad again." Oh yeah. That's not what's happening here. He didn't lose his kids, he pushed them away. He abused them emotionally, neglected them financially, lied about them publicly, and painted them as the villains on his show. He's not the victim, he's the reason his family fell apart. And that's what's truly scary. Because when people like Kody get the chance to reinvent themselves, they don't heal, they hunt. They look for new victims, new people to manipulate, new audiences to win over. And all it takes is a few believers to give them that validation, and boom, they've got a fresh platform, a new career, a clean slate. That's exactly what's happening here. Sister Wives blew up in his face, everyone turned against him, and now he's trying to rebuild his image on Special Forces. He's hoping people will forget the past, see him as some misunderstood tough guy, and fall for his redemption act. But the truth? Nothing about him has changed. He's still the same manipulative, self-absorbed man he's always been. Real change doesn't come from switching TV shows or pretending to be humble. It comes from making things right. From owning what you did, repairing your relationships, and genuinely caring about the people you've hurt. Kody can't do that, he's incapable of it. So don't be fooled, besties. Don't fall for the act. Kody Brown is not some comeback story, he's a cautionary tale. And Brianna said it best. If she'd known who he really was and how he treats people, she would have called him out harder and not given him an ounce of sympathy. Maybe some men excuse his behavior because of bro code, but women? We see through him instantly. We know the type. So yeah, don't be fooled, America. Kody Brown isn't reborn. He's just rebranding. And if the media dares to make him some kind of hero, I'll be beyond disgusted. Anyway, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and click the bell so you never miss what's coming next. Thanks for hanging out with me. Love you, besties. Bye. Sparkling heart.